Hey guys, Ricky Chang here. Welcome back to another... Wait a minute, something is wrong here. Just hold on. Hold on a second. Yes! That's weird, now that we got that out of the way. Hey guys, Ricky Chung here. Welcome back to my channel. You'll notice that the background has changed a little bit because I am taking this a little bit more seriously. Hope you guys like the blue. If you guys do like the blue there, that took a little bit of work, please take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe, and that'll be super helpful. So some of you guys know that I shoot weddings as my primary bread and butter, and this is pretty much the camera that I would pick up. I shoot with two 5D Mark IVs. Now these guys have been my primary workhorse for a number of years. I would say something like 3.5 years or so when it was released. Now the EOS R has been a camera that's been out for a little over a year now, and I've been hesitant to pick it up because, well, the specs of the camera itself are pretty underwhelming. On paper, it looks exactly like the 5D Mark IV. The sensor, the megapixels, the ISO performance, the dynamic range. What is different? The only thing, it's really just a 5D fit into a mirrorless setup. But as we all know, mirrorless is the way to go. So late last year, I was able to pick up the EOS R. I found a really good deal online, and prior to the holidays, the prices were dropping on the EOS R. I decided, let me give it a shot because I shoot sort of this YouTube stuff, and having this flip out screen was super helpful. Now, I know this review or this thoughts or, you know, my personal opinions about this camera might be a little bit late, but I really wanted to kind of use the camera in real world environments. So we know for a fact that Canon is very serious about the RF mount system. They've released so many professional grade lenses, 2.8s with IS, L series lenses for the RF system. We know that they're headed that direction. My just natural curiosity on what the R system is all about. Like I said, specs alone, this camera is nothing special. But what it does bring to the table is mirrorless technology. And I gotta say, the autofocus system is something I want to kind of get into. So I was able to use the EOS R for both my professional work and some of my personal work as well. And I feel like I like to pick up this camera over the 5D Mark IV for some reason. I don't know what it is, whether it's the grip, whether it's the way the camera is, or whether it's because it's a new piece of technology. It feels right. On a more personal level, I feel like the way the camera is, whether it's the LCD or just kind of the EVF, it's more of a pleasure to use. For some reason, it forces you to kind of shoot in a very different way. And I think for us photographers, we need that every now and again. We get so accustomed to shooting with the same system, and things, I'm not saying things are easy or things are on autopilot, but sometimes you need that little extra push to create something different. And something like this really does the trick. Now, I know you guys, oh, you know, Sony had mirrorless technology for years, and I get that. I think Sony has been crushing it for, I don't know, so many years. And Canon, I think Canon admit, they're pretty slow on the pickup of mirrorless technology. But here it is. It's finally here, and I'm not saying I'm a Canon fanboy. However, I've been shooting Canon for all my life, since the beginning of time, or the 20D, or I think it was a 20D, 30D. I just love the menu system, the ergonomics. Canon has been really known for that. I think what's really smart about Canon is they included an EF to RF mount adapter, which is this guy right here, which essentially allows you to use all of your EF glass on the RF system. I'm really happy to report that I feel like there's no change in autofocus performance as for photographers. There's no change in the quality of the lens itself because it is, again, it's actually hollow. There's no glass in here. But as far as the autofocus performance, I feel like it's just as quick. But what's really intriguing about this camera is the eye tracking. Now, the release of this camera, it had, I think the eye tracking was non-existent, or it was just really bad. But with the firmware update, I think this is a 1.6, I don't know, I bought it like this, but the eye tracking is something really to be spoken about. Now I gotta say, with the 5D Mark IV, I've really had no problems autofocusing. I would say, and you guys know my work, I shoot a lot of 1.2, 1.4, especially for portraits and even dance reception type action in my weddings. And I would say my hit rate would probably be somewhere around 70 to 80%. And I'm talking about 85, 1.2, nailing it in low light situations like a reception, first dance, things like that. I mean, if you can nail 1.2, whew, butter. But with this guy right here, eye tracking, face tracking, it's a game changer. I mean, it's mirrorless technology, dual pixel autofocus on top of the eye tracking that's available, and this is kind of mind-blowing. I mean, I would say my keeper rate is somewhere more around the 80 to 90, 95 percentile, and this is on servo mode. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous. I'm not really accustomed to shooting servo mode with 1.2 because I was always iffy on it tracking focus, especially something that's moving, but with the EOS R, I don't know what it is, but it works really well. You just have to try it for yourself. Guys, I know for video, yes, it's so underwhelming. It's still shooting 4K cropped. It doesn't have a full frame 4K. It only shoots 1080 at 60, not 120. Yes, it's true. There's a lot of downfalls in the EOS R. But again, I think it's a great hybrid system. So I know some of you guys are complaining about the fact that it doesn't have sort of the little thumb pad here for autofocus. And remember, this is a mirrorless system, so you can autofocus all the way to the edge of the corners, all the way up, all the way down, all the way across, left and right. And the fastest way, and I've played with the Sony system, and it was always hard to move those focus points. I mean, you have so many focus points to move from one corner left to the right it took forever. With the EOS R, you can set half of the screen or even the full screen to focus points. This is how you would move focus. And it takes a little bit of practice. If you guys are accustomed to something like this, it takes a little bit of practice, but I gotta say, it is really fast. You can move from left to right. You know, everything else, the menu system is very much like Canon, like the 5D series. But again, what's beautiful about this camera is that it is an amazing hybrid system. So the record button is right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oop, here. The record button is right there. Now with the 5D Mark IV, what I had to flip this toggle switch it to video, hit the record button, and you know when you're going from the mirror and the mirror has to flip up, it takes about 2 seconds for the live view to kick in, and then you can kind of record. However, with the R being mirrorless, I can be shooting stills, hit the record button, suddenly I'm shooting at the custom function 3, shooting some B-roll, boom, hit that record button, stop recording, and I'm back into photo mode. Now I know what you guys are gonna say, Rick, you're a professional, you're using this, and yeah, as you already know, one card slot, one SD card slot. It is UHS 2, but yes, it is one card slot. Canon, you know, they really, it's 2020, they really could have put 2 cards in there and just made it a more versatile body for us. But typical Canon, they didn't do it. It's kind of a bummer, but that's kind of what Canon gave us. I do have a workaround regarding the one card slot. It's not the best, but I found it a little bit of an alternative. If you guys are interested in learning about that, leave me a comment down below. Perhaps I'll make a video on that. Another beautiful thing about the EOS R is the fact that it is almost 1 pound lighter compared to the 5Ds. Now, if you guys know, as you wedding photographers, you're carrying 2 of these typically on a day, and 2 pounds or somewhere around 2 pounds, your back will thank you. I mean, look at this. This is, hold on. I mean, the size of these things are pretty ridiculous. Another cool thing that Canon has added with the R system is customized buttons. Now, I know that the 5D Mark IV had a lot of buttons itself to begin with, but they weren't really too customizable. They were just kind of set, that's what they did, and that was kind of it. But with the EOS R, you really have quite a few customizations on the button. I wish there was a little bit more, you know, but they're really kind of customizable to your likings for the most part. I mean, for me, I have this, and a lot of people are pretty much talking about this useless thing right here. I don't really find it too useless. I like to use this as my ISO, and I'm just kind of scrubbing through the ISO on a shoot. And I don't really accidentally press it or anything, and if there is a lock button to kind of prevent yourself from touching the touch bar by accident. Another thing that's a real benefit is this articulating screen. Now, I know a lot of the lower end Canon cameras had the articulating screen, but to put this on a full frame camera and just kind of be able to vlog and film yourself is really nice. And you know, shooting stuff like this YouTube. So again, kind of going back into the whole idea of being a photographer and a videographer or a hybrid shooter, this is probably a very ideal setup. Really nice, but what I do find really interesting is by having this articulating screen, as a photographer, it makes you kind of compose and think about shots differently. Now, I know that the 5D had an LCD, and I used to use this a lot, but it was just different. I don't know, the way you look at it or something like that, you're not really able to stabilize yourself in video. You have to kind of crunch in and just kind of shoot this way, and you don't really know what you're recording. But with the EOS R, I was able to just kind of flip out the screen and kind of hold it to my chest, and I think a lot of people with like the GH5 and a lot of those other cameras were able to do, and just kind of keep it close for that extra stability, which is really nice. I mean, I really like this. I mean, it's nice to have. So yeah, guys, if you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you're interested in learning more. If you guys have questions, DM me or leave a comment down below, and it would be super appreciated. I'll leave you guys a link in the description below where you guys can pick up an EOS R. I think it's a super great buy at this point because the prices are dropping. And I mean, like I said, Canon is going to move forward with their RF lineup, and it's going to be quite a battle. I think what I really like about this whole thing in general is that, you know, because of Sony's put a lot of pressure into the camera industry and making the likes of Canon and Nikon pushing cameras a lot faster. So it's super interesting. I think as of this video, there has been rumors of a Canon EOS R Mark II or a Pro version of the camera. I don't know where that's going to go, but still at this point, this camera does everything that the 5D Mark IV does, if not a little bit better. So with that said, if you guys are a professional photographer and that's the only thing I do, the 5D Mark IV might still be a better option. But if you guys do a little bit of both, or you're interested in doing a little bit of both, the EOS R at least is really the camera to look into. But again, that eye focus tracking it's a game changer. So that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.